Have you ever pondered why some women find themselves increasingly frustrated with their husbands as time goes by? It's a common reality that many long-term couples encounter. What once felt like a strong bond can sometimes transform into daily irritation, silent resentment, or even outright hostility. But what leads to this shift? Why do numerous women, after decades of marriage, end up feeling disconnected, exhausted, or even resentful towards the person they once chose to spend their lives with? In this video, we will delve into the deep-rooted reasons behind this emotional evolution, exploring why unspoken frustrations may build up over years. There are specific patterns that contribute to marriages drifting into tension over time. Oftentimes, these changes happen gradually, almost imperceptibly, until one day the warmth is replaced by resentment, frustration, or even regret. Understanding these patterns is crucial in gaining clarity, whether it pertains to your own marriage or that of others. By recognizing these signs, there is still an opportunity to change course, rekindle the connection, and nurture a fulfilling relationship once more. Stay tuned until the end, as the reasons behind this shift might surprise you. These issues are not just passing irritations or complaints. They are rooted in deeper psychological and emotional factors that have been shaping relationships for years without individuals even realizing it. By the end of this discussion, you may view your own marriage or past relationships in a new light. Before we dive in, if you haven't already subscribed, I encourage you to do so and turn on the notification bell to stay updated on future videos. If you find this video helpful, please type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to provide feedback for improvement. Let's begin by examining one significant factor: years of emotional labor without appreciation. One of the primary reasons why women may start to resent their husbands as they age is the emotional labor they undertake. This includes tending to the relationship, managing the household, and caring for the family, often without receiving acknowledgement or gratitude. Emotional labor extends beyond physical tasks like cooking and cleaning. It encompasses the unseen mental and emotional efforts that uphold a marriage. Women frequently bear the responsibility of remembering important dates, coordinating family schedules, mediating conflicts, and ensuring everyone's needs are met. After years of shouldering this burden, exhaustion sets in. Many men may believe that their financial contributions suffice, but a marriage requires more than just monetary support. It is about emotional engagement, making one's partner feel valued and appreciated for their efforts. If a woman dedicates decades to managing every aspect of family life without recognition, resentment can quietly build. Take Carol, a retired teacher in her 70s, for example. She spent years juggling work, raising children, and maintaining the household without her husband noticing or acknowledging her efforts. Now she feels drained and unloved, reflecting on the absence of reciprocity in their relationship. Emotional labor is frustrating because it often goes unnoticed. If a woman's contributions are taken for granted, she may reach a breaking point where she feels unappreciated and distant. Over time, gestures of gratitude that once sufficed may no longer hold the same value. If a husband assumes his wife will handle everything without reciprocating effort, it can lead to a dynamic where she feels more like a caregiver than a partner. As a result, love may diminish, giving way to emotional exhaustion and frustration. Resentment does not emerge overnight. It accumulates over years of feeling unseen and unappreciated. If a woman's emotional labor goes unrecognized for an extended period, it is natural for her to withdraw. If this resonates with you, or if you have ever experienced similar sentiments in your own relationship, it may be time to reflect on the dynamics at play and consider ways to address them. If you are feeling unappreciated in your relationship, know that you are not alone. This is a common experience for many women, often realized only after years have passed. One common issue is feeling like a roommate rather than a wife as time goes on. Many women start to feel as though they are living with a roommate instead of a husband, and this shift can be incredibly painful. In the early years of marriage, there is excitement, passion, and a deep emotional connection. However, over time, if both partners stop putting effort into the relationship, the romance fades. What remains is a partnership that feels more like two people simply coexisting under the same roof. This change doesn't happen overnight for many women. It starts gradually with small signs such as missed date nights or a lack of deep conversations. Routine sets in with the same schedules, patterns, and surface level interactions until one day she realizes that she and her husband are no longer truly connected. They may eat meals together, watch TV in the same room, but the intimacy is gone. She no longer feels desired or seen, feeling more like a housemate than a wife. Take Linda, a 69-year-old retired nurse, for example. In the early years of her marriage, she and her husband laughed together, took long walks, and shared their dreams. As time went on, the conversations grew shorter. He stopped asking about her day, and they began living parallel lives together, yet separate. Unfortunately, he didn't even notice the change, but to Linda, everything had shifted. This scenario happens in countless marriages because many men assume that once they are married, the work is done. They believe that simply being present in the home is enough, forgetting that relationships require ongoing effort to thrive. When a woman feels emotionally disconnected for years, it doesn't just make her feel lonely, it makes her feel resentful. Women need emotional intimacy just as much as physical intimacy. They need to feel wanted, appreciated, and engaged in meaningful conversations. A husband who stops making an effort, flirting, complimenting, or showing genuine interest slowly becomes someone his wife resents. Once a woman stops trying to reconnect, the emotional distance becomes permanent. If this resonates with you, know that you are not alone. Many women go through this feeling the weight of an emotional gap they never expected in their marriage. If you are finding these insights valuable, please comment below to let me know you're here. Your engagement helps me continue creating content that supports and uplifts you. One of the most damaging reasons women begin to resent their husbands as they age is the accumulation of unresolved conflicts. Small arguments, disappointments, and emotional wounds that were never truly addressed start to build up over time, creating layers of frustration and deep-seated resentment. Many couples fall into the habit of ignoring problems instead of solving them. It may start with small things like dismissive comments, forgotten anniversaries, or arguments left hanging. At first, a woman might let it go, thinking it's not worth the fight. However, as the years pass, these small disappointments pile up. Take Patricia, a 74-year-old retired accountant, for example. She had been married for over 40 years, and on the outside her marriage seemed stable. However, inside she carried years of resentment, from every time her feelings were dismissed, her needs minimized, or promises unfulfilled by her husband. She had brought up her frustrations in the past, but they were always brushed aside. This pattern is incredibly common, where many women stop arguing, expecting change, and seeing their husbands as caring about their feelings. Years of unresolved conflicts can create a distance that feels impossible to bridge, leaving women feeling hurt and resentful. Holding on to hurt due to a lack of closure can result in a man repeatedly ignoring or minimizing his wife's concerns, which sends the message, whether intentional or not, that her feelings are not valued. This emotional neglect can lead to resentment. Unresolved conflict in a marriage can change how a woman sees her husband over time. Initially, there may be love, admiration, and a sense of partnership, but if conflicts are not properly addressed, these positive feelings can diminish. The woman may begin to view her husband as someone who does not listen, dismisses her needs, and has become more of an adversary than a partner. Many men may not even realize this change is happening, as they mistake silence for peace, when in reality, it can indicate that a woman has given up on trying to be heard. As women age, their priorities and desires evolve, often in ways that their husbands fail to notice or adapt to. What was once fulfilling, such as raising children or supporting a spouse's career, may start to feel like a closed chapter. Many women reach a stage where they seek deeper emotional connections, personal growth, or a sense of independence. If their husbands remain stuck in old routines and fail to acknowledge these changes, it can lead to a painful divide. Women may feel trapped in a life that no longer fulfills them, leading to resentment. The loss of emotional and physical affection in a marriage can also contribute to feelings of resentment as women age. While every marriage evolves over time, a complete fade in affection can leave women feeling deeply unfulfilled. If you find yourself resonating with any of these experiences, know that you are not alone. Your engagement with this content is valuable, and helps in creating supportive and uplifting content. Unwanted, unloved, and disconnected from the person they once felt closest to. At the start of a relationship, there is often warmth, hugs, kisses, and small gestures of love that make a woman feel cherished. However, as time passes, many husbands become complacent, forgetting that affection is not just a phase of marriage, but a necessity for keeping love alive. For some women, the realization that things have changed is not marked by a major argument or a dramatic moment, but by the slow recognition that the small touches, thoughtful compliments, and playful flirtation have disappeared. Consider Sharon, a 71-year-old retired secretary who fondly remembered when she and her husband used to hold hands while walking, when he would place a gentle hand on her back as they talked, and when he would give her a warm hug just because. Now he barely looks at her the same way, and their conversations have become mundane discussions about bills and errands. Sharon once expressed her longing for the way things used to be, but her husband dismissed it, claiming they were too old for such displays of affection. Many men fail to grasp that affection is not solely about romance, but also emotional security. When a husband ceases to show affection, it not only makes a woman feel lonely, but also invisible, inflicting one of the deepest wounds a marriage can endure. Moreover, there's the issue of how physical intimacy changes with age. While many couples experience shifts in desire due to health concerns or changing bodies, what many women resent is not the decrease in physical intimacy, but the lack of effort to remain emotionally connected. A husband who neglects to show affection in small ways, offer compliments, or initiate warmth gradually transforms the marriage into one where his wife no longer feels like a woman, but merely a cohabitant. Women do not easily accept this reality. They start to resent it. They resent the disregard for their needs, the dismissal of their emotional longings, and the husband's decision that affection is no longer necessary. Despite attempts to address these concerns, if they are brushed off, ignored, or mocked, women eventually cease to voice their desires for closeness. When a woman stops seeking love, it is not because she no longer craves it, but because she has come to terms with not receiving it, slowly extinguishing whatever remaining feelings she had. If this resonates with you, if you have experienced the painful loneliness of a love that no longer feels like love, know that you are not alone. Many women silently endure this as they age, feeling taken for granted, which is one of the deepest sources of resentment in a long-term marriage. Giving, sacrificing, and showing love for years only to feel unnoticed or unappreciated can lead to a sense of being taken for granted. Over time, many women realize that their acts of love, such as preparing meals, remembering special dates, and supporting their husbands, have transitioned from gestures of care to expected duties. The shift from being appreciated to being taken for granted gradually transforms love into resentment. Take Nancy, a 72-year-old retired school principal who had dutifully managed their household without complaint. However, she began to notice that her efforts went unrecognized, with her thoughtful actions met with silence or indifference. Feeling invisible in her own marriage was heartbreaking for Nancy. Spending years giving without receiving thanks or acknowledgement can be devastating. When a woman's efforts are no longer seen or appreciated, the warmth in the marriage fades. At the beginning of a relationship, there is often gratitude expressed. But as time goes on, many husbands stop acknowledging their wives' everyday efforts, assuming they will always take care of things. This shift from appreciation to expectation can erode the foundation of love in a marriage. Lack of acknowledgement or reciprocity can be very draining for a woman, leading her to eventually stop seeking it altogether. The issue goes beyond just men not showing appreciation. It often stems from a lack of awareness regarding the immense efforts and responsibilities shouldered by their wives. Women who have dedicated their lives to managing household tasks, remembering special occasions, providing emotional support to their husbands, and maintaining the relationship may appear fine externally, but internally they can feel exhausted, depleted, and unseen. Resentment typically accumulates not from one significant event, but from numerous instances of feeling undervalued. When a woman no longer feels appreciated, she may start to emotionally withdraw, laughing less, initiating fewer conversations, and neglecting the small gestures she once did out of love. This withdrawal is not meant to punish her husband, but simply because she feels depleted. Many husbands fail to realize that expressing gratitude doesn't require much. A simple thank you, an occasional acknowledgement of her efforts, or an unexpected compliment can go a long way in making a woman feel loved and appreciated. When these meaningful words disappear, so does the emotional connection. If you have ever felt unappreciated despite your continuous efforts, know that your feelings are valid. Many women silently struggle with this issue, questioning the significance of their contributions. Recognizing these insights can help create content that supports and uplifts you. As women age, one of the most heartbreaking reasons for resentment towards their husbands is the realization that they have drifted apart. Years of routine neglect and a lack of effort to stay emotionally connected can lead to feeling like strangers to each other. It's crucial for couples to make a conscious effort to grow together, as neglecting this can lead to emotional disconnect and a loss of deep connection. Meaningful conversations often dwindle, replaced by shallow discussions about practical matters, signaling a loss of emotional intimacy. When one partner tries to engage in meaningful conversations, but is met with disinterest or indifference, it can lead to feelings of isolation and loneliness within the marriage. Additionally, when interests and passions diverge over time, with one partner evolving while the other remains stagnant, it can create a sense of being trapped in a relationship that no longer fulfills them. Many women mourn the loss of the marriage they once had, remembering a time when their partner was more attentive, engaged, and supportive, which can intensify feelings of resentment towards the current state of their relationship. Love is not something that simply happens. It requires effort and maintenance. When a husband neglects to invest in his relationship, stops learning about his wife, and disconnects emotionally, he can become a stranger in his own home. If this resonates with you and you have experienced the heartbreak of feeling distant from your spouse, know that you are not alone. Many women go through this, often feeling isolated in their struggles. If you are still following along and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you are here. Your feedback is essential in helping me create content that celebrates and empowers you. As we conclude this video, take a moment to reflect on the discussion. Resentment towards a spouse does not happen overnight. It builds up over time from unexpressed frustrations and unmet emotional needs. It is crucial to understand that resentment does not signify the end of love, but rather a need for change. Many women feel silenced and believe their emotions are too complex to address, or that it is too late to make a difference. However, it is never too late to have open conversations, demand appreciation, rekindle connection, or choose a new direction for the relationship. Your feelings are valid, and you are not alone in this journey. Recognize that you deserve to feel valued in your relationship. Always have and always will. I would love to hear from you about which signs resonated with you the most, and if you have experienced a similar shift in your marriage. Share your thoughts in the comments. I enjoy reading about your experiences and insights. Your feedback is important to us and serves as motivation and encouragement. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share to support us in creating informative and inspiring content. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to having you join us in the next video.